Okay, so we've already done absolute value equations, and now we're going to talk about absolute value inequalities. This is from your homework, page 56, number 43 through 61. Odd, and then 75 and 77. I'm going to start with number 45. Here I have an absolute value inequality, which is the absolute value of m minus 2 is less than 7. Now, absolute value inequalities are really similar to compound inequalities in that they're kind of either an or an and. And if you remember, if we have less than are going to be and inequalities. So when we split this up, we have to split this up twice. Just like we would in a regular absolute value equation, we're going to do it once, just like it's written, only without the absolute value signs. M minus 2 is less than 7. And we know this is going to be an and because this is a less than sign. And then we rewrite it again where we have m minus 2. What's inside the absolute value does not change. But we have to flip the sign, so now it becomes greater than. And we have to flip our value over here to opposite, so it's negative 7. Once I've done that, now I can solve and I can graph. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this by adding 2 to both sides. I get m is less than 9. And here I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I get m is greater than negative 5. So it's an and inequality, remember, that's going to have usually 2 dots with a line connecting it. So I'm going to go to 9 here. It's supposed to be a 9, right? And 9 on my number line is going to have an open circle because it's strictly less than. Okay, and then on my negative 5, I'm also going to have an open circle. Okay, and because this is an and, I'm going to connect them between. No, that's not the only reason. If we look at it, if we say all numbers less than 9 and greater than 5, it would be in between those two. That would be graphing something that has an and in it, so it's because of the less than. So that's our first example. The next example I'm going to do is number 61. It has a nice fraction in there, and this one is a greater than, so we're going to actually have an or inequality here. So same thing that we did last time, we have to split this up, but I cannot do that until I get the absolute value signs alone. So the very first thing I have to do is add 5 to both sides. So now I'll have 1/7 y plus 2, or the absolute value of 1/7 y plus 2, is greater than 8. Okay, and now I can split this up. So over here, I'm going to rewrite it the same way. 1/7 y plus 2 is greater than 8. Or 1/7 y plus 2 is less than negative 8. So again here, the second time I write it, I flip my sign and I make the value opposite. Okay, so let's start to solve this. On this side, I need to subtract 2 from each side. When I do that, I will get 1/7 y is greater than 6. And then I undo the 1/7 by dividing by 1/7. Okay, 1/7. And over here, I'm going to divide by 1/7. Remember that when you divide by a fraction, it's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. And if we multiply by the reciprocal of 1/7, that's 7 over 1. So 6 times 7 is 42. On this side, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides first. I get 1/7 y is less than negative 10. And then I'm going to divide by 1/7. And I figure that y is less than negative 70. Again, here I multiplied by 7, which is the reciprocal of 1/7. Okay, so I've got this blank number line. My guess is the best thing to do here is just to go by tens. So here I'm going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and then I'll do the same thing in the negative direction. 0, negative 20, negative 30, negative 40, negative 50, negative 60, negative 70, negative 80, and finally negative 100. So doing my graphing here, they're giving me y is greater than 42. I'm not going to be able to get exactly 42, but I can just give a really close guesstimate. It's going to be really close to 40, and it's going to be an open circle. Okay? And then here I have y is less than negative 70. Well, I have a negative 70 mark here, so I can put an open circle there. So this is an OR inequality, which means that when I graph it, I'm going to have y is greater than 42. So I'm going to go all numbers greater than 42, which is to the right here. And then here I have y is less than negative 70, which is all numbers less than negative 70, which is to the left. And this is graphed just like a traditional OR would be, like an OR compound inequality, with the arrows going opposite themselves. Well, that's the last problem I'm going to do from this homework. If you have any questions, always see myself or Mr. Daniels. Have fun with your homework.